welcome back to my Tricycle Life. So today's topic of video is going to be turning this bicycle into a two-stroke conversion bike. And right now we are gonna talk. It's basically we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do to this in the future. This isn't gonna be a video about installing this quite yet because I'm still trying to get stuff together to install it. I'm trying to get more components that I think that would be better suited for this kit to make this kit more dependable and to last longer and to be more of an enjoyable ride. But right now we're going to just talk about why I'm trying to get better components for it. So let's start with that. So the reason why I say that I want better components for it is because, for starters, this is a $117 kit. And everything that you see here is what came with the motor. So first, let's talk about the motor. The engine has 48 cc's, so that doesn't sound too powerful, but it's powerful enough for what we need it for. The motor by itself, besides being cheap, it's not a high quality engine because the components it has internally aren't balanced. So what that means is when this thing starts, it's going to have a lot of vibration. That's what I've been learning time after time with these kits. So wherever you install on it, you're gonna have to do a lot of maintenance, such as like nut and bolt checking, seeing, whatever it is that's getting loose, you have to tighten it over time. And a lot of these components are quite important to the bike's function. So and I'll go through what I mean by that. First, as you can see, the platform that I chose for this project is a 20-inch bicycle. Those of you that know and have installed two-stroke conversion kits know that the manufacturers recommend not to use a 20-inch bicycle. They usually recommend using like a 24, 26 and up bike frame. And one of the reasons why is the components that they give you with the kit are basically they are set so we're assuming that the size of the rim plays a big role in the motor's function, how it runs. Meaning that, say if you have this bike and another bike that has a two-stroke side by side going the same speed, this rim size is going to be spinning at a higher RPM than the 26-inch bike, because it's trying to keep up the same speed, but the motor on this has to work faster and harder at a higher RPM to keep up with that 26-inch counterpart. So what we're going to do is, knowing that information, I'm in the process of ordering a gear set that bolts onto the back hub that is a bigger gear set than what they give you in the kit. They give you, I think this is about maybe a 35, 36 tooth sprocket. I'm gonna buy a 52 tooth sprocket for this one because I'm thinking that by getting a bigger sprocket for the rear, it's going to allow the engine to run at a lower RPM on the high end, and these engines do not have a transmission, so it basically only has essentially first gear or one gear. So once you wind it out, there's no more obvious gear to change into or anything like that. So it's important to setting this up with only one gear, and that's important. So why am I getting a additional gear for a back sprocket for the back when there's one that is already came in the kit? And that's because they want you to, with the basic kits, they want you to bolt the gear strip to your spokes. What I mean by that is, like, imagine if the coaster brake wasn't there. They want you to slide this over the hub like that against the spokes and tie this into the spokes, which they give you these we'll call them pads. What these do, these go in against the spokes, in between that and the spokes here, and there's one for the back, and two, they have these little brackets. Hole pattern is the same hole pattern as the sprocket does. So basically, you take the other pad and put it behind the spokes, and put this over here, and then with the nuts and bolts that they give you, they want you to sandwich all this against the spokes. But I have a problem with that, even though in theory it works, because I tried it before on other on other two-stroke kits before. But here the problems that I have seen with this is once the spokes start to get loose, because these bikes are traveling at 25 miles an hour plus, and these are hitting bumps a little harder. They're being damaged because of wear and tear. The spokes get loose, and because this is tied into the spokes on the non-drive side, essentially they can damage the spokes as they get loose. They can get torn out of the rim, and obviously that can cause catastrophic crash, or even worse. So what I want to do is there's a attachment you can buy for these gears that you can clamp it onto the hub, and that is, to me and to anybody that knows how a bike or motorcycle is put together, that's where the gear should be. And that even on this, you can see, well, this is a coaster brake setup, so the gear for the bicycle is actually a part of the hub, and that's where it can take the most torque and that's what's strongest. So by putting the two-stroke kit gear on the hub as well, that's what it's gonna add the strength to the right place, and that's what we're gonna do for that. And then what I want to buy a replacement for is the chain tensioner. The chain tensioner they give you in the kit is actually this right here. What this does is it bolts onto your frame like exactly like that, and although you can torque it down and you initially would stay put, but like I said before, with these engines, they're not internally balanced. So what that means is you have a lot of vibration, and obviously nuts and bolts will loosen up over time, maybe even a week or two after they're installed. So if you're not the type of person that will do a bolt check every couple weeks, what could happen is this will loosen up, and by the chain always against the tensioner, it might actually go towards your spokes and get caught and essentially rip at your spokes, or make it so where your rim just stops spinning. And obviously we all know what that, crash and hurt yourself that way, and we don't want that either. But they do make a chain tensioner that it's like a half moon that bolts right here to it here, and all this is where the tensioner wheel should spin onto. So that way, you have 2 points of contact with the frame, and if you use Loctite nuts, you can that it's not going to go into your spokes. And two, you might already see that the gas tank is already mounted on the frame, and that's because I was doing some prepping for the project, and I came across this aftermarket mount for the tank. What they wanted to do is drill a hole straight into your the frame to basically hard mount the tank. And as much as I like the idea, and I wanted to try it, so I bought one for like $18 on eBay, I think. And the problem with this frame is, as you can see, it's not your normal design frame. Instead of having a single tube going down the middle on top, this has two. So I had to fabricate a couple of brackets to hard mount the tank to the bike. And even though they do work, and they're gonna stay on quite tight, and this allows me not to have to drill a hole right down the middle of the tube. For example, the right way to do that, if you have to drill a hole into your frame, obviously that's gonna cause a weak spot at that spot. You really shouldn't do that unless you put something in the hole that you can weld it like a slug. They call it a slug. What you do is, if you do have to drill holes into your frame, so whatever the project might be, and if you want to add strength to it, you drill a hole, you put the slug with a hole in the center of that into the hole in the frame, and you weld it into place, so that way you can still have the hole, but you add structural strength to you keep the structural strength to the tube. So with that said, in this case, I could. There's no middle tube to do that with. So I had to modify the design a little bit and make these brackets so it can essentially do the same thing, but the end result is having a tank that's not going nowhere. Why did I do this? Well, how they wanted you to mount the tank on the bike is the tank if you flip the tank upside down, the tank has 4 posts, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and then what they want, and plus the center of the tank has a backbone or an indent where it can slide over the top tube of the frame. So it kind of molds itself over the top tube, and with a bracket you can clamp it down against these 4 posts, but by doing that, mounting the tank on that way, I noticed that the tank comes loose and it flops around the bar, and obviously this holds your fuel, and essentially that will dump out your fuel and splash it over you, or you'd be trying to ride it, and all of a sudden you have to let go of, the bar with one of your hands and hold this still while you ride it, and obviously you want to pay attention, what you're doing versus trying to keep the components where they're supposed to be. And yes, a lot of YouTubers or other channels say it's good that this tank can move around a little bit. Say if you crashed, so as you crashed, then that way the tank can kind of tilt over with the crash and not spill out the gas, or it can take the hit better. Here's my point of view is, you don't see, motorcycles do that. You see the motorcycles, their gas tanks are hard mounted, and they're staying put like this. I mean, they crash the same, the bigger counterpart motorcycles crash the same way as this will. So either way, I kind of feel like I might as well have this solidly mounted, and it not going nowhere in use. And two, what my plans are for this is, as I build it, I want to build it in a way that it's dependable, and where I also want to tune it, and the way I want to tune it is I want to make a tool out of a a fuel gauge that I will take a old tailpipe that I have and weld a bung in the tailpipe for the air fuel sensor. So after I install this, I can put that tailpipe on there that has the sensor and tune the carburetor if I have to change the jets or whatever I have to do to this to make it run as good as it can run, and see how dependable we can make this kit. Now, I know this is not a trike, and this is, in the name, it's My Tricycle Life, but part of my Tricycle Life is bikes that are modified or heavily modified to make it work for your needs or your style. And this is, even though this is a two-wheel bike, this is going to be heavily modified with a two-stroke engine, and I think that fits into what we're trying to do here. So in other videos, we're gonna make videos about this and install the engine. Like I said, I am in the process of getting other components like hour meter / tachometer, so we can keep track of the RPM of this engine, so we don't go over what this engine is designed for, RPM wise. And then I'm gonna be putting a digital speedometer on it as well, so we can keep track of how fast we go or how fast it can go. Like I said, we're going to be upgrading the chain tensioner. We're going to be updating the sprocket and how it's mounted on the rim. And we are going to do things like that, but also keep it safe as possible, and try to get dependable as much as possible to its motorcycle counterpart. And that would be the goal, because how things are changing today. Gas prices are going up. Other ways of transportation is getting more expensive. Cars are getting more expensive, as in running them and everything else. So we are not gonna this summer we are not just gonna play with this or putting it together and see how dependable we can make it, but we are also gonna do feature videos on electric motor kits and how to install them. So this might not be the first one that I'm going to be putting together, but for this bike, I'm going to be trying to make it like a test platform. I know that out of the box, we shouldn't be using a 20-inch bicycle, which I'm aware of why. But I just want to know if we can modify this so the engine can stay happy. Plus, if we could do that with this size of bike, essentially this can go faster, this can perform better because it's a smaller package, lighter than a 26-inch frame or higher. So we're going to be doing a lot of modifying to this to make it work, and I'm going to do the best I can to document that on this channel to, seeing how far the rabbit hole we can go with it. So with that said, thank you for watching this video. And if you like it, please subscribe and ring the bell, do all the things, and hopefully we can make this channel get as big as and popular as possible. Again, thank you for your time, and until next time, bye for now.